Our next topic is going to be what's happening around Washington, D.C. with the National Guard and what the results or what happened with all that and where they're going from there. Now, a lot of people are upset that the National Guard are assisting law enforcement and taking down criminals in the D.C. area. We got a couple clips.
Well, I don't think they mind that criminals are getting taken down.
Well,
I think they don't like that the other party is trying to kind of usurp their power in their area that they were elected in.
You're saying the politicians are upset.
They're making them look bad.
Yes, the politicians are trying to make them look bad. Yes, and they are making them look bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
The Democrats in control of these cities don't want the Republicans getting credit for doing something
for them doing a little, and it's not. They call it a takeover. It's not. It's an assistance role.
It's not a takeover. No. They
weren't even armed.
They're not in control of anything.
No, the law enforcement in those areas are still in complete control of what happens in those cities, and even the mayor of DC, even though she's not a fan of having the National Guard there, said they need at least 500 more officers.
And actually, I saw over the weekend how Hegseth had told the ones in D.C. that start carrying their sidearms, and I was shocked that they weren't carrying them to start
I was too. When I first heard that, I'm like, so what are they going out with? Nothing?
Yeah.
What, tasers and zip ties or something?
It doesn't make sense. If you're either send them in or don't send them in. Don't send them in unarmed.
I agree, because exactly. How do they defend themselves?
Yeah. So the official count as of now, as of 2 hours ago, is 2,200 Guard troops that were deployed from D.C., Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and West Virginia.
That's in D.C.?
That are all in D.C.
I mean...
They were the deployment saying that they would help from Trump. They would help an array of federal agents crack down on crime in the city, but their mission remains vague, and much of the overall federal law enforcement effort has focused on low-level crimes and detention of undocumented immigrants.
And 2,200 is a lot, but it's also in a big city like that.
It's a big city, plus they're not working 24 straight hours.
Right.
So if you divide them by 3 and put them in each shift, it's really not that many people. It's about what the mayor said they need to add to the force in the first place.
I would think if they... I know they're not going to work cooperatively, but if they would, it just be a benefit for the city. Are they working with them?
Yes. The law enforcement wants them there. Politicians don't.
Was there something that happened that precipitated this?
No.
Well, I think Trump...
Just politics.
Do you know how Trump is fixing up the White House, doing little renovations here and there, trying to make it look like a spectacle for the rest of the world?
Okay.
He's saying that our nation's capital shouldn't be as crime-riddled as it is, and he wants it completely eliminated.
Okay.
And I guess in the first week that they were enforcing, there were 0 murders in D.C., which they said hasn't happened in decades. So, I mean, it is having an effect. And you can argue whether it's enough of an effect, but as far as I'm concerned, if they save one life, what difference does it make? They're not hurting anybody. They're there to assist law enforcement. I'm sorry you're offended that they're there, but they're doing a good job.
And I'm for this. It's fine. But I wonder how much it's costing.
What are they doing anyways? What would the National Guard
they wouldn't
be
on
doing?
duty.
Well, yeah, so National Guard is...
They're not working all the time. Those guys aren't on duty.
They're weekend warriors.
You could be in the National Guard. You would get pulled out of the jail, and you would be getting paid full-time by the federal government. Go do it.
Yeah, National Guard...
I might do it.
You might be a little old for the National Guard, though.
Kidding me. Bench is 320.
He doesn't look old.
Thank you, Nabil. See?
Are
you leading into saying something stupid just to butter me up a little bit?
Is there control for this, Mike?
Yeah, it's right here. I'm not touching it. Not while he's doing that. No, we're still on board with this conversation. But I do have a couple videos from CNN. We can watch those, and they kind of discuss this topic, and then you can give me your impressions of it. I know you're a little. I don't know if I can tell you're a little against it a little bit. I don't know. I can't tell. You're not saying anything.
No, that's why I asked if there was like some sort of event that occurred that made this happen, or if it was just a Trump whim.
I think
he just woke up one morning and said, "You know what? I want to have the Guard."
You know what I think started the whole thing?
I'd feel a lot better if there was some sort of major event that was like, "Hey, we need this many troops."
I think there was kind of a catalyst for it. Is when that kid from Doge got beat up by like 6 or 7 people in D.C.
When was that?
That was 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. What the hell was it? That was the big balls. Remember they were talking about big balls? He got piss pounded in D.C. Yeah,
so
they beat the shit out of him.
As big as he thought they were?
Well, I don't know. He's still doing it.
If you're going to go by big balls, I mean...
man, come on. Nabil.
I did nothing.
You're the closest one.
It's not... You can see that it's not level.
He's kind of vain.
Stop touching it.
Well, it's your thing.
This is ridiculous. This is a serious topic, and you guys are fucking with my...
You shouldn't put stuff on the table if it's not stable.
I do have some video. Let's throw this on. This is mostly Scott Jennings tearing up CNN
mostly
anchors.
ghostly.
This guy's... If you haven't seen him... He is.
He's good.
He's really good. He does. You can tell he does his research. You can tell he gets
a little
leaning
snarky
to the right, but you know he looks his shit up before he talks.
He gets a little snarky, but he knows what he's talking about.
I cut this out from another YouTuber, so I don't know if you're gonna get mad at me, but you did the same thing to CNN, so knock it off, whatever, bro.
Who?
I don't know. I don't remember his name. It'll show up on here.
No
I can't hear anything.
I got it. Hold on a second. Let's get the volume thing going again. Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
Please take over.
Oh, there's still no sound.
Oh, that's much better.
Did I? Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Stand by.
Oh,
Stand by. Let's try this one.
this runs in the family.
What the hell is going on? There's no sound. Oh my god. Hold on a minute. We got this. Give Steve a second. Should have had this all set up beforehand. But whatever, that's fine. I'm just gonna go do this. I'm gonna go into my history, and we're gonna watch the whole stupid thing now. God blessed. Fact check. This is
How you doing?
I think it was this one right
Everything
here.
Good weekend?
Let me just say.
All right.
There is no evidence.
Oh, that's Bolton.
That what
You guys keep talking amongst yourself for a second. Talk about the topic. We're getting there.
DC.
You gonna make a trip to the state fair?
Yep.
I'm
I'm
going
not
today,
sure. We don't have a
actually.
day yet.
I'm going this very day.
I'm jealous.
Oh, you're not allowed.
Steak tips and mushroom. I saw at one place though that looked good. They were like doing like bowls where you eat like mashed potatoes with like steak tips. And mushroom.
There's a place that does
maple cotton candy.
gyros. I know they're Heroes.
Heroes. Come on, Art.
They're so good and they're huge. They've gone up a lot. They were $4 at one time. They're up to like $7 or $8 now, but they're
The polling that you
Oh,
gigantic.
shit, that's loud now. Jesus. What the hell happened?
Maybe
we're
they're
good.
on Loudnum.
There you go.
Good one to be. Real good one. All right, you guys ready? We're going to watch the video now. You guys ready for this? All right, stand by. Stand by. Here we go. Maybe.
Wow, this is
The
exciting.
polling that you showed
Okay, here we
earlier,
go.
combining people who thought extremely crime is an extreme problem or crime is a moderate problem, was 91%.
That's from people that live
I
there.
totally agree. So 91% of people who live in a jurisdiction think it's a moderate or an extreme problem. This is not a figment of anyone's imagination. This is not mass hysteria. This isn't, some.
I can't stand that guy on the right.
collective
I've never seen them before.
Oh, he's brutal.
It's real. People who live there know they aren't safe.
That's Scott Jennings reminding CNN's audience that Trump's federal crime crackdown in D.C.
Yeah, this is
is
the
connecting
part
with
I
the
edited
public
out.
in a way Democrats
But now we gotta
can't
watch it.
spin. No matter how much they try to gaslight people with cooked up stats, the disconnect between reality and their narrative couldn't be clearer. Welcome to Nurk News. I'm Nurkish, and it looks like Democrats are choking on their own talking points as Trump's tough on crime play in D.C. proves wildly popular because people aren't buying the crime is down line when they can see what's happening on their own streets. Jennings cuts right through that illusion, and CNN's panel can't quite process it. Here's Scott Jennings going at it with a liberal guest pushing the Democrats' favorite trick of don't believe your lying eyes, believe our skewed data.
Well, first of all, the homicide rate in Washington, D.C. is very high compared to other major cities and other world capitals. So to continue to say crime is down, I think you're giving people a false sense of the fact that it is in fact dangerous in Washington,
Exactly what I was
D.C.
saying.
But I tried to tell you last night, this issue with the Doge kid, Ed, people are pissed about this, and it hammered home for a lot of Republicans the fact that Washington, D.C. is violent. There's roving street gangs. There's lots of carjackings. And, this guy worked in the White House. He was known to a lot of senior government officials. And I told you last night it had set off a firestorm in the Republican Party. And this is the result.
Carjackings are down in Washington, D.C. 37%. 37%.
From here to here?
Whether or not 37% is a significant number.
It's not
just,
safe.
it's just math, right? It's just math.
This idiot with just
37% drop
numbers
is a
irritates me.
significant drop.
I'm going to pause
Here's
this
the
for a
deal.
second right here.
If-
Now let's look at the actual numbers. 2024 to 2025 in August.
Yeah.
All right, Saul the dangerous
it is-
weapons 652 and 24, 524 and 25. So they
it
can
is
say
a
20%.
huge drop.
That is a drop, but it's still 524.
Absolutely.
And
So-
all those numbers previous are still a come down from the COVID high, which it spiked every single crime across
Well,
the country.
those are down from every one of those years has gone down. The COVID
Right, because COVID was the peak, but now we're getting to numbers that were pre-COVID.
Here's the
So
real-
it's leveling off. It's not really going down.
Here's the real problem, though, right?
well,
These
we'd have to
guys-
see the We'd have to see the pre-COVID
These guys
numbers.
are both right, but they seem like they still want to argue, right? So he's not wrong that it's down, but the other guy can also say it's still
both.
too high.
They're both
right.
They're both absolutely
So
correct.
robbery, 1,231 and 24 and 879.
But I mean, like,
so you can see that the decrease is there, but it's still 879.
But that's what I'm saying. What the guy's saying is true. Like
True.
when he says it's math, he's right. It's
but
down 20%.
I think he's trying to justify his argument that they shouldn't be assisting
What
them.
Scott Jennings is saying is absolutely true too. Yes, it's down, but it's not safe.
So what you'd have to do, though, is you'd have to do some sort of study to figure out did the National Guard have anything to do with those numbers decreasing, and if they only just started.
No. This has nothing to do with the National
argument
Guard.
as to saying that the numbers are down, which factually that is correct.
Yeah.
The thing is, when Trump or when he activated the National Guard for this, he used it under his emergency powers. So what their Democrats are saying is it's not an emergency because the numbers are coming down.
Yeah.
So how can it be an emergency now if it wasn't an emergency 2 years ago?
Sure.
I would say they're trending to a level.
But like Scott Jennings was saying, if 91% of the people that live in that area say it's a problem, then it's
That's
a problem.
probably a problem.
And all these protests that they have there they're not even from that area.
Sure.
There's one guy called, I think his name is Nate Friedman. Claudia Tenney was just on him not too long ago.
Hey, Claudia.
But he goes around to all of these protests, and it's the same people at every single protest. So he
talked about that
He
before.
says what company they work for. He doesn't really have the information on how much they get paid, but they say there's paid protesters, and there are a lot of them. If you actually watch some of his thing, he'll go through and pick out one guy to protest, and then he'll be like, he was at this protest. He shows pictures of this protest, all around the country. So is that their full-time job? Obviously.
Maybe, yeah.
If they're traveling the country going to protests, and then it's these same people, when he goes to try to interview people at the protest, they'll do everything they can to stop him from talking to him. They'll put cardboard up in his face. They'll blow friggin' trumpets next to him. They'll rattle horns and bang on drums just so whoever he's talking to can't hear him. And they'll go up to these people and say, "Don't talk to him. He's a far right extremist," which he's not. He's just exposing all their bullshit. But it's insane what they go through to prevent people from having a conversation.
I want to know why
what this country needs.
I want to know why Nurkish is blacked out. If you're going to share information and you want us to know about it, I want to see your face.
Oh, I agree. And if you notice, a lot of these protesters, they're all wearing masks. None of them want to have their face exposed to what they're doing. It's insane. Let's finish this up. But you can see the numbers, and based on what that one dude was saying, the numbers are down, but they're still not good. Just because they're down from a high doesn't mean it's good.
He wants Jennings to acknowledge though that they're down, and Jennings won't.
He did say he goes from here to here. That's great. Yeah, here to here.
Yeah.
You struck out 900 times last year. Well, you only struck out 800 times.
The thing is,
okay,
I would say that it's not an emergency. It's not that you want.
If you're one of if your kid was one of the people that got killed because of that, it would be an emergency.
It's not an emergency though to activate them right now, but that doesn't mean you can't, and it's good. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad.
A very good thing, but that depends on what you consider an emergency.
Exactly.
I would say 10 murders.
That's what they're arguing about, though.
Right.
That's their disagreement.
For someone to say
what constitutes
that
an emergency.
You don't want help from a federal agency, you're out of your mind.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You are.
Yes.
All right, let's finish. I'm getting fired up.
Well, it's just because it's political. That's the only reason they're
That's
arguing over it.
They don't give a shit.
It's politics.
This goes back to
safety.
This goes back to the Democrats not giving a shit about the people, just doing what they do to get their votes. They don't care about people. Obviously, if you're saying that we don't need you here and our numbers are getting better, but 800 people are still getting murdered, they don't give a shit about you. Simple as that. They're out of their minds. Stand by. Here we go.
If the president is doing this because someone that he knows got assaulted, unfortunately got assaulted, and then he can use that as an excuse to do what he likes to do, which is ratchet things up and use authoritarian measures to show force and take things over. And that's
all criminals understand sometimes.
Things in terms of crime are trending down in Washington, D.C. It's just math. We didn't cook it up.
That line I can't stand.
Socialist bubble. It's just math, guys.
It's just math. They're people's lives.
That crime is.
You know, this is the classic Democrat move. Hide behind cherry-picked stats and hope people ignore the reality around them. But Jennings is absolutely right. People in D.C. feel unsafe, and that matters more than some incomplete FBI spreadsheet.
Is it Max
we know
Headroom?
why the numbers are worthless. The
Max
national incident-based reporting system Biden's DOJ pushed lets big blue cities like New York and L.A.
Thanks,
I don't
Dark
need this
Brandon.
guy's narrative.
together.
I know,
Missing
but
data from the most
it'd be hard
violent
to pick it up
places
if I try to
magically
edit it now.
produces
Can we
declines
fast
on
forward?
paper,
I
while
can, but then it'll be hard for
carjackings,
me to line it
shootings,
up.
and assaults spike in real life. Trump's crackdown isn't just a headline.
I think there's
it's
only one more
visible
segment of,
action. National Guard on
talking.
the streets, FBI agents busting up gangs, and zero tolerance for repeat offenders. That's the kind of decisive leadership Democrats can't match. Here's CNN's own guest pointing out how tone deaf the Democrats' just look at the stats messaging really is.
What's striking is that National Democrats are not following Mayor Bowser's lead on this, and that National Democrats have been insisting, just look at the statistics. We have 30-year low, violent crime. Whereas Mayor Bowser is talking about, hey, we need to get 500 more police officers on
That's
the
the mayor of
streets.
DC.
We'd like the federal government to help us rebuild our jail. She's talking about some of the reforms she did to make it so accused violent offenders don't get out of jail pre-trial. So there is this disconnect, and I've talked to Democratic strategists today that think that National Democrats saying, look at the statistics is sort of a tone-deaf way to react.
And it's very much, isn't this the exact same problem that Democrats had last year? Look at the statistics. We promise you the economy is great while people are going, it doesn't feel great to me. That feels like a lot of this conversation around crime, that you can point to statistics all day long that say, hey, DC is safer this year than it was last year. But do people feel safe? Bottom line, if they don't, they may be more okay with something that would otherwise be considered extraordinary.
When even CNN...
Okay, well, that was probably the last part of the interview, but what they say makes sense, obviously.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can't understand these people going in there and having an issue with a federal assist with their law enforcement, especially since the mayor herself is saying they're 500 officers short.
I thought the man was the mayor.
No,
What's the woman?
no, neither one of them.
No, they
both
were
analysts.
talking
They were
about
talking
the
about
mayor.
the mayor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. The statistics have already started trending that there is an actual improvement from them being there. And they were saying like 20 to 25% off every category. I
saw the one was as high as almost 30%.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're doing an amazing job.
29% for robbery.
And as far as I know, I don't think there's been one hiccup in this whole setup yet. I don't think they've hurt somebody or they've arrested someone they shouldn't have arrested. As far as I know, and I think I would have heard about it at this point.
I haven't heard anything except the politics, so I'm assuming it's working well.
Exactly.
Here's the only real concern that might arise, and again, if you want to reference this guy's like terminology of it's just math. This is just factual information, right? Having the National Guard is not trained for law enforcement. Now you can give them training,
sure,
right? But they don't have the same training as the guys who were hired to do this. So and it's the same thing with the jails, right? Like when you have the guard in the jails,
and they've been there for what, 6 months now.
The hiccups could occur because of that, but they could also not. It's like a real crapshoot.
I think a lot of it has to just do with something like an ominous presence, where all these troops are in the streets along with law enforcement, and it's preventing a lot of people from the desire to do the crimes because there's a higher likelihood they're going to get caught. And now with the crackdown and what they're doing with them as far as after they're arrested, before they're court, if they're violent, they want to keep them in prison, which blows my mind that they didn't keep them there in the first place. A violent crime, and you're going to let them go pre-trial? That's insane.
I'm not saying I agree with this view, but he said that the Trump measures like this could be considered authoritarian. The only comparison there is, when you usually see troops and boots on the ground doing normal day-to-day law enforcement stuff are in countries like that. But that doesn't mean just because we're doing it, we're like that. But that's why the comparison would get made. Like, oh, well, Berlin 1944 had troops on the ground all around.
And that's what they're trying to do. Yes.
Right.
It's all all the talk is politics.
It's just a matter of what the actions precipitate. So obviously, if these guys are just standing on the corner looking for stuff to, see if something bad's happening, is different than if you're, stopping every car and giving everybody the business, or we're pulling people out. It's all about what they actually do.
Right. And as far as I know, I've never seen anything on them doing anything other than what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
They're really just patrolling the streets, I think.
If they see a crime, they take care of it. If they don't do anything.
As long as that's how it remains, then it's not really a problem.
No, I agree completely. I agree. I don't want to see the federal government overstep either, but
the only thing is while they're there, everything's been good. Right, no murders
So what
in this
happens
week.
when they leave?
So
Is that
how
what
long
you're
are you
gonna
going to
say?
leave them there, though? Are they there forever now?
I would say until they bolster their police force.
Whoa, but
Until
I mean,
they get those 500 more. But the problem with that is the same problem they have in New York State is nobody wants that job.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So,
Right.
how long are they there? Which is fine. I don't
I'm
mean
gonna
they can't be there, but are they there
my
forever?
My opinion would be until they get the numbers on their law enforcement staff that they need to have.
Because
I don't
now
think they're gonna pull them out before
they're
that.
going to move into.
Well, I got a list
Chicago.
of actually I got a list of states they said they're going to send it to
I
on the
would,
screen right now.
I would
Well, the
say
only one, though, that
until
they've
the next
announced-
election.
Well, this is actually official right here. This is the list that came
I
out.
know, but
You're
they're not
official.
going to anyone but Chicago next. The next one is Chicago.
I don't know.
They already were talking about them going.
They
to
said they
Illinois
are going to Chicago. Illinois not even on this list. But
I
if
know,
you
but
look
they're
at the
already
list-
going. That's the next city. They said.
If you look at the list of where they want to send National Guard, most of these are Republican states. So it's not like they're picking on Democratic cities, but they're probably going to go to the cities which are run by Democrats.
Tell them to stop picking on me.
which are shitholes. All these, if you look at every major city in the United States of America that has a high crime rate, they're all run by Democrats. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Find one that's not.
Are there major cities run by Republicans and there's not high crime?
I think I don't know.
Not
Florida. I think
you know-
most major cities in the U.S. are run by Democrats because they got them all full.
Is Miami Republican or I have no
Yeah, you
idea
have to
what.
look it up,
I don't
I'm
know
not
what
sure.
any big cities.
I don't know either. I don't know.
necessarily are.
I think most cities, major cities, are run by Democrats because they got these people, they got them brainwashed, and they think that they're there for them. And what did what's that one politician said? He'll have black people voting for him for the next generation.
Are you gonna yell at him? You would yell at
I don't know
me.
what he's doing over there.
I was getting ready for something. The next one.
Why don't you slow it down a little
I
bit?
didn't know it was opening YouTube though.
Slow it down
Yeah,
for a little bit.
I'm slowing down.
So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I don't. What was I saying? I got all fired
One
up, and
guy
Nabil
you
throws
said-
videos. Oh yeah, I don't remember which politician said it, but he said he's going to have black people voting for him for the next few generations.
Yikes.
But that's all because they lie to him. They say, "Oh, well, you need us," and they try to get them hooked on this government assistance program, so they have more kids. There's no father in the house, and that's what screwed them over for decades. But that's how Democrats think.
Well, they're in disarray right now, so I don't think they're going to be winning a lot of
what's-
elections.
What's funny about Democrats is now they're all trying to talk like Trump, and Gavin Newsom just did this recently, where they start swearing. They're like,
And he's been doing a lot of social media
Oh, yeah.
stuff, all caps like
Sure.
Trump does.
Yep. Everything
and
he does
very
is,
hyperbolic, like purposely like mocking Trump's
a
way
lot of
speaking.
the jokes that they're making now is they don't have a real man to head the Democratic Party.
Well, I think
Now-
that's what he's
now
trying
they're all
to position
get
himself for
themselves in that position.
2028, I believe.
I think he's
Gavin
probably.
Newsom.
I would say he's the front runner at this point. I mean, they're still saying Kamala is the.
The only poll I saw was in California, and he was the front runner, but that's California. So.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Oh my God! Yeah, can you imagine that idiot running? Oh my God, he's the one that filibusters all the time.
Yeah.
and talks about if you don't like it, come at me. I'm like, okay, dude, you're like fucking 75 pounds overweight. You're doing good.
Joe Manchin.
Joe Manchin they will never have because he is a moderate now. I would say if you didn't he leave the Democratic Party? Yeah, so they're not going to pick him. They're not going to pick a moderate, which would be the
That would be to
smartest
their
thing.
benefit, yeah.
If they could pick someone that's an actual moderate, you would pull a lot of people from both sides.
I
to
mean,
vote for that
anybody
person.
could come out of the woodwork. We've got a couple of years still, but
Sure. You gotta
I
start
would think right
campaigning
now
soon.
it's
But-
like AOC and
Well,
Newsom
can
are
you
the
imagine
two.
AOC?
No, but I mean they're the
But-
two most recognizable
that's
names
true,
in the
but
party.
the highest one polling is still Kamala Harris. They did a national poll, and she's still
Yeah,
number one for
they-
the next 2028
well, that's, I'm
candidate.
sure
That's why
true.
she turned down her bid for governor.
Nationwide,
Can you-
that's probably is the most recognizable.
Can you
name.
imagine if that idiot was in office right now? I mean, you can not like Trump. I get that. Like, I know how he is and how he does things and how he talks. I get not liking him, but you can't deny his results. His results have been incredible since
Overall,
he's been in
it's been
office.
good.
Yeah.
I'd say 50-50.
What 50 don't you like?
I'm still waiting on the I'll have the Ukraine war settled in 12 hours, which he said on the campaign
Putin-
trail.
No, I know, but they all say stuff on the campaign
That's a
trail.
separate topic, but he is playing him.
Putin,
I think he's going to recognize that
I
soon,
think
and he's
Trump is going to
have
do something.
to sanction him.
I don't want to see the U.S. get involved militarily with
won't.
Russia.
We won't with boots. We won't get with boots.
We'll send missiles in though.
Yeah.
I'd like
But
missiles.
then if we send missiles into China from us, then into Russia, China's going to get.
Oh, you mean
No, they won't.
we won't send missiles?
No, they
we'll
won't.
send the missiles to Ukraine to use.
I hope that we don't.
we
get
won't
involved.
send them from
But
here.
I would send them.
Putin is making him look foolish on that topic, but I don't think it's going to last long. I really don't.
That's
Well,
why that's
the other day.
that's why that's the other side of my
his
50.
2-week thing, couple of weeks.
Yeah, but you're saying one thing out of like the 80 things. He's ended like 6 major wars around the country. He's at least had a part
Around the
in
world,
ending
you mean?
around the world. Yes.
Hey, at least I'm not saying he hasn't done anything good.
Right, that plus the border's more secure than ever. I mean, the stock
You don't
market's
even really
doing
hear about the
fantastic.
border
They said
now.
because the crossings are almost zero now. Could you imagine that ever
I don't
happening?
know about the
No.
painting it
Ooh,
black
that's so
to make
stupid.
it too hot to climb. I mean, you're just climbing at night.
Well, and I actually commented on someone's post about that. I go, well, fucking electrify it.
That's what I was thinking when they said
Electrify
that. Why
that
not
thing.
just
It's all metal.
electrify it? That would keep
Electrify the whole
everybody up.
thing.
Even though they could probably compromise that and they would continually be fixing the
Okay, I got no problem with that as long
Yeah.
as they stay out. That would be cheaper
But
than
that's
having
what
them
I
all
thought.
sneak into the country.
Yeah.
But as far and he's sending warships to try to get a drug lord in Venezuela. Did you
I
see
did
all
not
that?
see that.
Oh my! He's sending warships down to around the coast of Venezuela, and he put a $50 million bounty.
I didn't see anything
on the
about
head
that.
of a drug lord.
Here's the thing about that though, right? That falls into the same problem as like putting boots on the ground in Ukraine. Why is that
So-
our problem?
Because all the drugs that they produce are coming
Anybody
into this
that
country.
kills that
So,
guy
but
gets
as
the
long as
50
you're-
million?
50 million.
As long as you're stopping,
I'll go.
if
We
you
could probably get a ride on one of the ships.
I would rather him continue his focus on the border because that's how you stop that stuff from coming in.
Right. Well,
and then tell
not
Venezuela
entirely.
to figure it out.
I mean, they can fly in. There's a lot of ways to get drugs into the country. They can go. They can use boats and come up into the middle of California.
In the same way that you said that if the National Guard saves even one life, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I consider something like going down to Venezuela with warships and even one life lost, for getting in on somebody else's problem is one too many.
I wouldn't think we're going to lose a life.
No, not if they're on
but-
warships.
but I'm saying
Venezuela
if
is
it
not gonna
happens-
do anything.
No, but if it happened, I'd be like, why the heck were we here? Why did we do this? That guy who died.
Well, they're trying to
wasn't
save
worth it.
American lives.
Well, how many people overdose? That's a huge epidemic in this country.
Unless
I mean,
unless
between fentanyl.
unless somebody's putting the needle in their arm for them.
I mean, I don't want to get into why people get addicted
Mm-hmm.
because there's many
Addiction is hard,
reasons.
but-
It is very hard.
We are way off topic here.
Right.
You're
Well,
super
I'm
off
just saying that everything Trump is doing right now is spot on. And for people to complain about any of this, they're out of their fucking mind. I'm sorry.
I take it all situation by situation.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. You know me. I think if people want to complain about a certain thing, they have a right to.
Mm-hmm.
But
To complain against your best
mostly-
interest blows my mind.
I would say mostly what he's been
Blows.
doing has been effective, and even some of the things that people argued were totally wrong are being proven to be at least.
Well, the tariff thing was
much-
a big part.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone
That's still
was like,
ongoing.
"This is what they're like. This is going to destroy this country." And it's been working out fantastically.
Supposedly.
That's what Trump would say, fantastically or something.
Yeah,
The
supposedly.
best tariffs ever made.
I haven't seen these billions that we're raking in. You're at or anywhere.
You're raking
but-
in billions on your deferred comp.
Ooh.
Yeah, now what's up?
Well, no, the stock market's different than that, but
It all lines up one way or another.
It's all hofy tofi.
And the Fed said they're going to drop the rates coming up in the
Nice.
next cycle.
Nice.
That's going to make the stock market
That's
skyrocket.
nice.
well, it already did. That's why it went up
That
so
one
much
really
the
good
other
day.
day.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think it's going to have a good long-term effect on it if they actually do that.
Good.
But if you're bitching about any of this, especially the federal assistance in the cities, and if they're actually getting crime down, shut the fuck up.
If
I'm
you're-
so tired of these idiot liberals going out and demonstrating with their little cardboard signs that they have on sticks.
If you're bitching about it, put it in our comments so Steve can fight with you about it.
I would
It's
love to
fun.
argue with someone. I'd rather have somebody on to sit here and justify their positions. We don't allow masks either. If you're going to be sitting
Get
here with
Claudia
us.
Tenney.
She agrees with me though. There's no fun in someone agreeing with you.
Get.
I need someone that's against. See if you can get Hakeem Jeffries on.
I might be able to swing Marianne Button.
I don't want to. I imagine she's in favor of these two because she's a Democrat, but she lives in a Republican district.
Right.
So she got lucky getting in office there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah, I think he's doing a bang up job.
Kathy Hochul.
I would love to have her on. Oh my God, can you imagine that? Okay, moving on.
You all right?
Yeah, I got excited there for a minute thinking about the prospect of a Hochul coming on. But yeah, any comments on this? If you agree with us, disagree with us, throw them in the comments.
Throw in.
I'd like to argue with somebody on there for crying out loud.
Oh, boy.
That'd be exciting. All right, that's going to do it for the segment.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for watching Two Studs and a Dud. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.